Thomas, I have a very important job for you. You must fill lots of freight cars with stone. Henry will arrive soon to collect them. Yes, sir. I have an important job, too. I'm sure I'll fill my freight cars first. No, you won't. I can beat a Steamy any day. I'll race you to the hopper. We have to go backwards. All right, I'll win. So the two engines raced away, backwards. Thomas steamed towards the hopper. I'm first. But Thomas couldn't see that Diesel had arrived first, behind him. Thomas bashed straight into Diesel. Stone poured down from the hopper. Thomas was covered from funnel to footplate in dust. Silly slow Steamy. I won the race. Thomas wanted to beat Diesel. We'll have another race. We still have to race backwards. Steamies are fast, Steamies are first, he huffed to himself. Thomas had to win this race. Then there was trouble. Harry and Bert were enjoying a rest at the engine sheds, but Thomas and Diesel couldn't see them. They raced backwards towards Harry and Bert. With a crash and a bang, Thomas and Diesel smashed Harry and Bert right through the back of the engine sheds. Stones and timber flew everywhere. Bust my buffers. Uh-oh. Then Henry arrived. I've come to collect my train. Thomas felt worse than ever. Oh no, it's all my fault. I should have done my job and not raced against Diesel. Come on, let's have one more race. No, Diesel, I have an important job to do. And Thomas shoved quickly away. Thomas shunted the cars under the hopper. Soon they were all filled. And Henry huffed happily away with his train. Next, Thomas shunted Rocky over to the sheds. Harry and Bert were soon back on the rails. I'm sorry I biffed you. I should have done my job instead of trying to be the fastest. We must clear all the cars of broken stones. Yeah, sure, Thomas. Finally, all the jobs were done. We still don't know who's the fastest. Let's have another race. All right, but this time we must go forwards. So the two engines raced away to the quarry gates. And they both arrived together. Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I took a shortcut, but I got lost.
Some very important passengers and a group of workmen are waiting at Great Waterton. The first engine to arrive will pick up the very important passengers. The second will collect the workmen.
Gordon didn't want to pick up the workmen. He wanted to pick up the very important passengers. Gordon puffed up to a junction. He could see Stanley ahead. Gordon was worried. Then he had an idea.
If I take a shortcut, he huffed to himself, I will arrive at Great Waterton before Stanley, and I won't get lost.
So Gordon took the other track. Now, he was more worried. His shortcut was taking longer and longer. Then he saw another bridge. But under the bridge, it wasn't Great Waterton. It was the shunting yard of a logging station. Gordon had never been here before. Then in the distance, he heard Stanley's whistle from the track below.
Stanley's catching up,
he huffed to himself. I must race ahead. Gordon pumped his pistons. Then there was trouble. Gordon biffed straight into them. The logs started to roll down the hill.
Bust my buffers. Those logs will block the lower track.
I must stop Stanley. But Gordon didn't know which track to take to find Stanley. Gordon knew his shortcut hadn't worked. Now he needed to ask for help.
Can you help me, Ben?
I have to get to the lower track as fast as possible. Of course. Ben was happy to help. At last, Gordon puffed onto the lower track. He could see the logs had fallen across Stanley's line. Then he saw Stanley chuffing around the bend. Gordon blew his whistle long and loud. "Stop, Stanley! Stop!" Stanley applied his brakes and screeched to a halt, just in front of the logs.
I'm sorry, Stanley. This was all my fault. I wanted to take a shortcut. I wanted to pick up the very important passengers. But now, I want you to collect them.
Stanley was delighted. Later, the very important passengers were all on board Stanley's passenger cars. Stanley felt very proud. Gordon puffed in to collect the workmen.
I won't be taking any shortcuts this time.
Stanley laughed, and Gordon smiled at his new friend.
Thomas, you must be careful with these blocks. They were made especially for the bridge. There are no more like them anywhere.
Yes, sir. Thomas had to stop at a signal. When he applied his brakes, Thomas heard a squeaking sound. Thomas was worried. "Hello, Thomas. Your brakes don't sound good. Shall I take your load for you?" "No, thank you. I don't need any help." And Thomas chuffed quickly away. Thomas's wheels hit a bump in the track. Some of the special blocks bounced off his flatbed. But Thomas didn't know. He was worried about his squeaking brakes. Finally, Thomas saw the Sodor River Bridge ahead. The builders were waiting. Thomas knew he had to slow down now, but he couldn't. Thomas's brakes had stopped working altogether. "Fizzling fireboxes, what can I do?" With a clang and a crash, Thomas clanked off the rails. His flatbed bashed his buffers with a bump. The last of the special blocks fell from his flatbed into the water. "Cinders and ashes. I've lost some of the special blocks."
Oh, no, Thomas. You've lost them all. Now the bridge can't be finished.
"Oh no, this is a disaster." The workmen attached chains to Stanley and Thomas. Slowly, Stanley pulled Thomas back to safety. "Stanley, will you help me, please?" "Of course, Thomas." "If you shunt me back along the track to the yard, I can show you where the other special blocks fell off." "That's a very good idea." "We must take Rocky with us. He can load the blocks onto your flatbed. Then you can bring them back to finish the bridge." Soon, Stanley shunted Thomas back into the yard, and he set off proudly with the special blocks. "Good luck, Stanley. I was silly not to have asked for your help. Thank you." Later that day, Thomas chuffed back to the Sodor River Bridge. Thomas put his brakes on. There was no squeak at all. He stopped right beside Stanley. "My brakes are fixed now. And so is the Sodor River Bridge. All thanks to my friend, Stanley."